Welcome to the New to Crypto podcast, designed to guide you through the crypto landscape with pinpoint accuracy, created for the new and intermediate crypto investor. Join your host, Crypto Travels Michael, as he takes you through the different facets of getting started and succeeding in your crypto journey. New to Crypto podcast brings you new episodes daily, Monday through Friday, with surprise bonus episodes sometimes on the weekend. Let me ask you, are you new to crypto? Don't know where to start? Are you more experienced but have questions? Then you're in the right place. This podcast is designed for you. Coming at you from the Trading Center in the Lifestyle Design Studio, here's your host, Crypto Travels Michael.
Hey, welcome to today's podcast. Today's guest is a celebrity crypto consultant. He has been on CNN Business, Fox Business, CNBC, and Cheddar. Today, we are going to be talking all about a project that he founded along with retired Navy SEALs, which benefits military families. It is called Challenge Coin, and this is the first ever true military cryptocurrency. Please welcome Mr. Russ Davis to the show. Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Hey, before we dive into today's interview, can you just share a little bit about yourself with our listeners around the world?
Yeah, I always hate this question, but I've got a background in finance and business, marketing, and mathematics. And that's kind of the long story short, because, this is all about crypto. That's how I got into cryptocurrency, just kind of looking at all these numbers, thinking, how can I make a lot of money for myself, my friends, my family with this new concept? And let's roll the dice and, let's gamble a little bit and see what this cryptocurrency thing is all about. And so I started looking into it in 2015. And I knew absolutely nothing. And I started joining some groups online on WhatsApp and Facebook and, Reddit and everything. And then after a couple of years, I just decided to make my own groups, kind of hand selecting some of the people that I've met online, the ones that I would say I liked or I thought were smart, the ones that didn't give newcomers a lot of bullshit for asking the dumb questions that I had just asked the year before. And so, one thing leads to another, and here I am. It's my full-time career, crypto consulting for a lot of different celebrities. And I still do friends and family and have my Facebook group InRussWeTrust and on all the social media platforms, either InRussWeTrust or InRussWeTrust Crypto. And I've got a team of analysts and consultants and admins, like 12 other people that are with me, just as important as myself. So it's not even just a one-man show. It's really just kind of blown out of proportion in a great way. And here I am, and I get to be interviewed by you. So this is cool.
Awesome, man. Thanks for unpacking that for us, Russ. Hey, before we dive deeper into the Challenge Coin, can you just share like an overview with our listeners as to what is your project Challenge Coin and just an overview?
Yeah. A couple years ago, I got to meet a guy named Larsen from SEAL Team 1. And we were sitting at the same table at this event down in Miami. And we started talking and we just kind of hit it off. We had a lot of stuff in common. And he was very interested in cryptocurrency. And I was very interested I'd never met a Navy SEAL before. So this was cool. And we got to just start hanging out, and then we were talking about, how my grandfather was in the military, and friends, family members, a lot of military, and I never really wanted to be, but I also wanted to help the cause, and I saw a lot of room for just betterment of veterans. And when me and Kaj were talking, I found out that it was all pretty true, that people are very just ill compensated after they come back home. There's not as many opportunities as people really think, and everyone can use, a little bit of help. So how do we do this? How do we incorporate cryptocurrency? And what started as kind of just like a joke at lunch turned out to, be something we were talking about all the time, every other day. And we decided to actually go for it and, assemble a team of very smart individuals that were also ex-Navy SEALs. And the tokenomics of the token are 4% of every buy and every sell goes towards a military charity. So we now have a bank, like a pool of money, a wallet online that has Ethereum in it, which we will donate to military charities in the form of that Ethereum or challenge coin. And we've actually, in only a few months since June 3rd, when we launched, have already been able to donate tens of thousands of dollars. We still have a nice bankroll, even with crypto being so down right now. And we've really exceeded expectations. It's tough to see that in such a down market, but we're actually we're heading in a really great direction. If we can do this now, I'm really interested to see what happens when Ethereum gets back to the $4,000 mark and everything, and our money is stretched a lot further. So it's just a really great program. It's the first ever true military cryptocurrency, and no one has ever tried it before. I think because you really do need to get military personnel. I wouldn't have started this coin or token, whatever, without them. Hearing their advice on where to give the money and what departments need it, what projects need it, this and that, and just learning about everything, life after being a Navy SEAL. It's amazing, and we're doing a great job, and I'm really looking forward to the future of Challenge Coin.
Fantastic, man. So I assume that you decided to release it on Ethereum, a ERC20 token. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's, cryptocurrency is so confusing to so many people. That's the one that is just the most visible in the United States. And we, since I've been doing marketing for a lot of different token projects in the last year and a half, we've noticed that we get a lot more traction as opposed to going on like a Binance chain or any of the other networks. So it was an easy choice to go ERC20.
Fantastic. I wanted to ask you about, I actually have retired military in my own family, and actually have a friend. His son is a Navy SEAL. I'm a big fan of Navy SEALs and Spec Ops guys. And I wanted to ask you about the recent donation to the Special Operations Warrior Transition Fund. Can you share with our listeners, a little more what that is and who it benefits?
For the Warrior Transition Fund, we do a lot. All of the charities we've been donating to, like Force Blue and Warrior Transition Fund, is about transitioning these military personnel, all these veterans, into the next stage of their life. And it's very hard because when you get to know what they actually do, they are, let's say, in Ukraine, they're leading huge, platoons. They're leading tons of soldiers. Their purpose is in your face. Like, they have so much obligation, and then they come back here, and it's a struggle. And I don't blame them at all. They have this team, and then when you're not on the team anymore, it's like, what do you do for that next stage? So the foundations that we've been donating to is all about transitioning. One of the ones that we just went to in New York City, we went to one of the galas that we had donated to learn more about Force Blue, and they deploy veterans underwater, because a lot of them were Navy SEALs in the Navy. They had the skill sets, and then what do we do with those? We are repairing coral reefs. We are cleaning up trash, but more importantly, creating a better ecosystem underwater, because 75%, don't quote me on that number, or more of our planet is water, and we focus too much on land, if you ask me, when there's so much unexplored, and we're trying to keep that clean for the next generation and thereafter. And what better people to deploy than people that are the best in the water in the world. And it gives them another better purpose. They teach young kids, adults how to dive and get in the water, make a difference. So those are some of the things we've been working on recently.
Fantastic, man. I'm a big fan of the ocean. I've spent many years in Hawaii, literally right by the beach, and Australia.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And actually earlier this year, I interviewed the founders of an NFT project, which is all about saving the oceans and even helping the coral. I'll probably connect you with them, Russ.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we can all. I'm always up for partnerships. Even since the beginning, with just like tokens. I think that's what we need is a lot more partnerships, and so projects don't have to do everything on their own and stop competing and start joining forces. So that's I would really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I wanted to also ask you about your experience with Shiba in the past, and the recent crypto bull run that we had, and some of your background in crypto. I know you're a humble guy, but you played a very interesting part in the run of Shiba. Can you share with our listeners?
Yeah. Like I said, I had been studying crypto since 2015 when I was an absolute noob. I knew nothing about it. But then when my other business that I own started more running itself and I could spend more time on everything, I started getting into analyzing charts and white papers. And I was fascinated by the projects that had like 9 or 10 zeros. It was like I was excited to just say I could spend $100 and have $1 billion of something, and so I started looking up these far out projects that had 10 zeros. And every day I was on WhatsApp, we were trading information on what we thought would be big and this and that, and I never had anything that I was excited about. And then I found Shiba, and I looked into it so much. I brought it to a couple of my different groups, and I was like, guys, am I going crazy here, or is this the most undervalued token I've ever seen? And so I gave it to a couple different groups who did not know each other. So there was no like collusion with, oh, okay, well, we're just going to agree with Russ. And every single group came back to me. They're like, I think you're onto something here. Now, obviously, it had only been around since August 2020. I stumbled upon it in mid-February of 2021. And it still had 10 zeros. But the charts you can't really rely on some charts on basically a coin that nobody even knew existed. The market cap was probably $3 million or something. It was really, really low. And I was looking at some of their, what they call wolf papers, which is what they call their white papers. And then I did some deep dives on what I could find on Ryoshi and Shitoshi, the guys who created the token. And I just kept coming back to the same conclusion. I am going to regret not buying this. So I loaded up. At that point, you could get, like the day one, we were getting 16 billion coins for $100. And right now, if we were to do 16 billion, we're in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is in a market that's 90% down. So all of my friends were like, well, we believe in your research. So what's a couple $100? Let's just toss it against the wall, see if it sticks. And so I created the Facebook group with one of my friends, Brad, who was also very enthusiastic about the token. And we started recruiting people as just kind of like a fun thing. We weren't making money. It was a fun experiment. And people were more than willing to work for free on just kind of, being around us, hearing what we had to say, our knowledge on cryptocurrency. And then we just said, I said, look, guys, let's really make this, let's at least put the effort in, and let's see if we can make this a really big, like a global thing. And you got some laughs, whatever. But I was like, this is simple. Nobody's attacking Twitter. Nobody's doing like a Twitter raid. Nobody has any structure. So let's say 2 p.m. every day. We had over 1,000 people in the first 2 weeks that were tweeting at the same time. And then that group grew to 20,000 in a few weeks. And then we got approached by Ryoshi, and Brad's like, dude, Ryoshi just contacted us. He wants to be the official page on Facebook for Shiba. And he was like, the only stipulation is just keep it about Shiba. Don't talk about any other projects. And we're like, okay, cool. So we started doing that. We started doing just calculated, like almost, we ran it like a business with a lot of free labor, just tweeting and posting on Instagram and posting on Facebook and spreading the word. And then within a couple of months, we had 50,000 people in our group. We had no idea what happened. And that 10 zeros dropped to 9, dropped to 8. And we're like, holy shit, we just turned $100 into $100,000. Like, this is crazy. And then people were really starting to believe. And it, like I said, just kind of spiraled out of control. It was a great time in the market. There weren't a lot of scams at that point. I know it was only less than 2 years ago, but there really weren't like the scams like they are today. So people were easier to believe in projects, and that we used that to our benefit. And then as you know, the next thing you know, we're the number one trending token on just every stock twits and on Twitter, on everything. I mean, it happened so fast because we were working like round the clock that we didn't even like have time to stop and think about what we had accomplished and what we had done. And that's when people were like, wow, okay, well, now we're gonna trust Russ. And that's when the whole InRussWeTrust thing started trending. At first I didn't like it, but then it was just, people just kept using it so much. I was like, I might as well embrace it, and so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much like a 2-minute drill on really the start of what we did, our participation in Shiba. And it is, it's going to pretty much go down in history as one of the most successful, quote unquote, meme coins that have ever existed. And hopefully it keeps up. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember. Thanks for unpacking that for us. I definitely remember when that was running. I actually did not get in on that run, but I was definitely watching it. I wanted to ask you if you could share with our listeners about your crypto consulting service and maybe, some of who you've worked with and that kind of thing for our listeners around the world.
Cool. So yeah, it's like I said, it started off just working with friends and family, and then it got into the group thing. And then I had to start the InRussWeTrust Facebook group so I could talk about other projects. And then so many people have come to me, so I don't remember like how, but when one thing led to another, they were like, I got this friend, you probably know him or her. And I'm like, okay. And it was like these celebrities that were wanting to know about crypto. And then I was doing pretty well for some of these people. I'm not going to name names only because there's a lot of stuff going on with celebrities and crypto. And I don't want to name drop in case they don't want me to, but I've consulted with a couple billionaires, a lot of athletes from UFC, basketball, football, boxing, everything, TV personalities. You can check out my Instagram InRussWeTrust Crypto, and you can see some pictures. So, there you can get the names on some of them. But things, like I said, spiraled out of control. And when the market was hot, I was doing pretty well at predicting what was going to happen next. And like I said, it's not just me. I always bounce what I think off of some of my most trusted analysts in my groups. So we just became a quote unquote overnight success with a couple different projects. And so after the whole Shiba thing, I had such a mass following that people were just salivating over my next picks. And just from sheer numbers, the next couple picks almost replicated exactly what Shiba did. If it wasn't for some inside sabotage from some shady devs, we were on the same pace where $100 was worth over $1 million. That like an initial investment within a month was worth 7 figures on 3 projects, on Shiba, on the one that's in a lot of the news right now, and this one called Bezos Earth, Bezoge Earth, was like the first real metaverse project I got into, And I got to meet the devs. It's a great team from all over, from Dubai, Chicago, France, Russia. I mean, they're from everywhere. And I got to meet them when I was in Miami at one of the Bitcoin conferences. And that's a really cool project. They're ahead of the game. And that's really what jump started, I guess, everything with just me saying I'm going to do this full time, which is kind of a dream. Like I never thought I would be doing crypto full time. I mean, it really was an overnight thing. I was like, holy crap, I can do this full time. We've got this fan base and we're making people money. People are happy. It's great. So why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I love cryptocurrency and I want to educate people as much as I can.
Fantastic. I also wanted to say I really like the new apparel line with Challenge Coin. I was actually looking at your new merch, I'm eyeballing a few items.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it was a joint effort. Myself and obviously the whole team, but Jeff Gum owns his own line of clothing called Sunga Life, Sunga Life. And so with his expertise in the field, he was able to select the best fabrics. I went over some of the designs with him, and it was not an easy project. I mean, we spent months and months and months, refining everything to really what we wanted, prototypes, this and that. And we're really happy on how that whole line came out. And so, that's very fresh. That's within the last week. And we're running a bunch of specials. Some of them are for 20% off. And the line's pretty extensive, from hats to tank tops to shirts and hoodies, men's and women's, and that'd be great for holiday gifts as well, or to support veterans. Being it's Veterans Day today, still we're going to be donating proceeds to these military charities from the apparel line as well. So it's evolving into a real cool ecosystem of between InRussWeTrust and Challenge Coin. It's really cool.
Yeah, I really like the line. And also I wanted to get some clarification for our listeners. On the back of some of your apparel, I love the phrase "kill zeros for heroes," but we just want our listeners to understand really what the meaning of that is. There's no killing going on. It's more, if you want to unpack that for them, the kill zeros for heroes. Yeah.
So that was one of the marketing tactics that we had used when I was running Shiba. You never take for granted that the people that you are trying to teach crypto to or math to know the answers. And what I found out was every person that I told that if you drop a zero, like if your coin is worth 0.0001, and then you get it to go to 0.001, so you drop a zero, it's actually 10 times your money. And people didn't know that. And so when I put it in, basic math terms, and I'm like, for every zero, guys, it's going to be 10 times your money. So that we made that trend like crazy on Twitter. And then when I was thinking about the challenge coin thing, like just a catchy phrase, it came almost instantly. Kill zeros for heroes. So trending, so just easy, and it's funny and it makes sense. But no, we're not killing anybody.
No, it's great. I really like how you guys came up with that. What is on the roadmap for Challenge Coin finishing off this year and going into 2023?
Well, things have been delayed just because of the world economy, market, crypto, everything is just so down. But we have the roadmap. It is ready to go. We actually have an ecosystem in place. We're just waiting for a little bit better market. Since everything is paired with Ethereum, we'd like to see Ethereum over 2,000 before we start these things. But we're going to have staking available. And for staking your challenge coin, we will be giving out a new token that we're going to be releasing with the staking. And we are going to be using that to donate to other specific charities like first responders, police. We've got a couple of different coins, and we want to keep all the coins specific so that we know exactly where the money is going and who, when somebody is buying that token, where that 4% is going towards. So we are excited about that. We're just we're patiently waiting. There's no reason to launch anything in this market. So we've got that. We've got a couple other. We're adding to our use cases. Apparently, donating tens of thousands of dollars in your first couple months isn't enough for anybody. So we're coming up with some pretty cool things. We're actually going to have real and actual physical challenge coin that we're going to give to some of our long-term holders. And we are going to be giving out, we've got signed apparel, signed hats. Rob O'Neill, the guy who killed bin Laden, a signed hat from him is pretty awesome. And, Ed Byers, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. We've, from Jeff Gum, Kaj Larsen, and I don't think anybody needs my signature or Jesse's signature here, but we will if you want it. But, we're going to be giving out some, I guess, just like fun, rewards, I guess, and just trying to give as much use case and functionality to our project to keep it fun for everyone. And, we're always up for suggestions as well. But yeah, we've got some things in the pipeline, just waiting for the right time.
Excellent. Excellent. Russ, what is the best way for our listeners to reach out to you and your team, stay in the conversation? I assume you guys have all the regular socials, and we'll have them on the episode blog post page.
So InRussWeTrust on Facebook. If you go and click on join the group, it'll ask you two questions, like, if you're a bot or something, and if you just really easy questions just to make sure you're not a computer. And the thing is, that's where you should be asking these questions. That's why we have the community. I get thousands of messages every day. It's impossible for me to keep up. So if I do respond, it's out of pure luck that I caught it. And so please really try and avoid DMing me because I got a lot of people that used to get really angry. Oh, Russ is an asshole. He's not answering this and that. And it's like, I never saw those. I was backed up over 1.5 million messages on Telegram at one point. I had to clear everything out. Facebook was a complete zoo. Twitter, oh yeah. It took me I'm still not done with all the Twitter stuff. But yeah, again, that's what our community is for. It is the most honest community in cryptocurrency that I have ever come across. You're allowed to ask dumb questions. You're allowed to ask what does when moon mean? When is a coin or token going to moonshot? What is going to go up 10x? Like you're allowed to ask those questions that I was asking in 2015 and not get made fun of. So we have this community for that reason, and we get some very funny questions. And then we've got some really technical questions. We've got a very good audience, and there are times where I'll just kind of survey the scene, the whole page, look at some of the comments, and sometimes I'll see that somebody is helping someone who they have no idea who they are, but they're reaching out, answering all their questions, taking their time to answer these questions for somebody who they don't know, and so I'll go and message them and say, hey, what's your Ethereum address? And I might send them a couple $100 worth of Ethereum or challenge coin. It's rewarding people that aren't doing it to get rewarded. And that's what our whole thing is about. Our admins are the best in the business. If you call someone a name, you're immediately going to get called out and just say, we don't do that here. You can't call people names for who people want to learn cryptocurrency. We do not want people discouraging people from learning cryptocurrency. So it's a great platform for people of all ranges of knowledge in crypto.
Hey, Russ, man, I wanted to ask you, how and where can the token be purchased?
Oh, good question. Yeah, all you have to do is go to www.thechallengecoin.io. It'll say get challenge coin. And when you scroll down, it will show you a snapshot of Uniswap. You can connect your wallet, and then it has control over the coins that you would want to convert into challenge coin. I would recommend hitting the settings wheel towards the top right and change the slippage to 16% because with new tokens, the price is always fluctuating. So this gives you a better chance of being able to get all the tokens that you want at the same time. And then you click swap and it'll swap out your Ethereum in exchange for challenge coin. It's pretty easy. If you ever have any questions, we can always answer those questions on my Facebook group.
Excellent. So all of our listeners can head over to Facebook and join your group. Russ, in closing, is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
Let's see. Well, InRussWeTrust on Facebook is free, but we do have packages that are anywhere from $20 a month to $200 a month, which get some inside perks. For instance, discounts on pre-sales for tokens that we launch, more detailed inside information from myself and my team. You get a monthly newsletter, which some of this information, even finding out an hour or minutes before others can make a very, very, very big difference in your portfolio. And so it's all about, getting the information to the paid subscribers as fast as possible. And then second, our community, and all of us working together is a great thing. But other than that, I didn't mean to talk so much about the group, but no, I would just say everybody hold tight in this market. It's definitely a good time to buy some of those dips. Hedge your bets down cost averaging. So for instance, if you bought a token at $10 and now it's at $2, instead of getting discouraged and selling, buy the same amount of tokens, assuming that you can afford it. So that now your average cost is $6. So instead of having to wait for that token to go all the way back up to 10 to break even, now it's at 6. And teaching math and crypto are hand in hand. And that's what we do. We want to make sure that people at least know all the tools that we're using in order to make our portfolios more robust and like I said, make it fun and also hopefully make some money doing it. So besides that, stay patient. It will get better. It's not a great time, but embrace it. Buy the dips if you can. Never invest more than you can afford. And that's about all I got.
Awesome, Russ, man. Thanks for stopping by, and we welcome you back in the future. It was a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. No, this was fun. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that I will be contacting you in the future to try and get back on here. It was fun.
Absolutely. Hey, if you liked today's episode, definitely like and subscribe to the podcast, show your support, and chime in here tomorrow for another special episode. Until then, make it a great day.
Thanks for tuning in to New to Crypto Podcast. If you liked the episode, be sure to follow and subscribe. You can listen to every episode on all major platforms. Have an interest in being on the show or want advertising? Reach out at newtocrypto.io. Head over to our site, newtocrypto.io, to access the resources mentioned in each episode. Until next time, remember to navigate the crypto landscape with pinpoint accuracy.